Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're doing a flip through of this little travel log TN journal. It's by Tracy Fox Creative, and I just loved it when I first saw the images that were on each one of the pages. And I had an idea to take a yellow file folder, or not file folder. I'm over here digging trying to find one. Sorry. I got one of these. And it was a 9 by 13. This one's a little bigger. This is like a 10 by 13. I got a 9 by 12. That's what I have. And what I did is I cut the flap part at the base off right here. And I opened this up where it had been taped shut. And I took this flap off of it. So it was open here and on that side. I only had the one side at the bottom. I cut off up here as well so I could get the height of 9 inches. And I believe, how wide is it? It's about 10 inches wide. There we go. So I made sure that I kept this clasp because I knew I wanted to use that as part of my my closure. So that's what we have here. Now, this image, well, all of these images are from the kit. There are a few little things here that are from the Dollar Tree that are like little bubble puffy kind of things that I put on here. And these two that was on here as well. And then I have a couple on the back. This one and then the little watch. So that's how I decorated the back up. And then this is how I did the front. Now, if you look, after I went in and I inked it around the outside edge, especially with scorched timber, I covered it with this kind of paper. And I used to have a sticker that went here somewhere. I don't know if, no, it's not in either end. But it's a really, really thin, and I think it's a painter's paper. It's not very wide. And so I took it. It's got a little bit of a wrinkle in it, as you can see. So what I did was I just kind of glued it down. And when I put these two layers together, I used Mod Podge, just regular old matte Mod Podge in the yellow jar. And then I used the same to put this down. And then I decorated my front and the back and that kind of thing. So then all you have to do, I put an eyelet back here and just kind of tied this string in it that's hemp that I usually will tie my journals in with. Let me see if I can get you down a little closer. I want to thank everybody for coming to visit, and I hope to get some really good ideas from this. I've got this little clasp just sticking up just a tad. Not too much, just a little. Because I don't want to move it too much, otherwise it may give. So inside here, I've only got this small... now, she had about 13 pages of ephemera for this. So there was quite a bit. But most of them were like these Polaroid size shots. And a lot of them are the ones that I made like a pocket. I just made them into a type of pocket. I used the rest of my cello tape that I had made. It's easy enough to make. I can make some more. This is just a little piece of washi that I had. I just wanted to use up that washi roll. And then I have a few stampings in through here. But this is, and the way she has it printed out, and the way you would download her kit, it's in the order that you want it to be in. I thought it was not quite in order, so I rearranged, and then I later figured out it was in order. So here we go. This is where she has like a page of tickets, and I made that a tuck. And I went a lot of times and just used the picture that was there to kind of figure out what country I was in. Because in some cases, I wasn't sure what country. I know that's the Taj Mahal. So that's India. And then I put in between 2 pages of my coffee dyed paper that I did out in the yard where it pulls in certain spots and gives me a great distressed look. And then this is actually a tuck because it's not glued down except for those 2 little sides. This was one of the suitcases from the kit, and I put that there. It has some really gorgeous suitcases. Look at that one. That's more of a drawing type. But this one over here looks it's sort of a drawing, but it looks realistic. Here we have, I'm assuming Greece, because there's a lot of, like, columns and such. Here's the big picture of that one. And, yeah, it kind of reminded me of Greece, so I assumed that that's where that was. This I'm not so sure about. I'm kind of wondering if that's Aztec, if that's not one of those, that road that the Aztecs made through South America. I wasn't quite sure. Here we have some of the things with the Colosseum and more of that washi. And sometimes I came a day before and decorated up just the regular papers. Here I've got this. This was a map, and then I put the Leaning Tower of Pisa here because it was nice and colorful. And then I put that one there. And this has like the Colosseum that you see there. I'm not sure what this is if this is a church or somewhere in France. I wasn't sure. Or this. I wasn't sure about it as well. That could be England for all I know. It probably is. I've got it in the wrong spot. That was the one fear I had, that I had stuff in the wrong place. And if somebody buys this, they're going to not know where to write. Now, I did suggest when they went through it, I had another little video I did for Tracy's page. But I was saying that if you didn't get this and use it as a journal where you traveled here, it could be used as a wish journal or a bucket list kind of journal. You could write in it and say what you want to see at this location if you had the chance to go there. I thought that was kind of a neat thing, because that's kind of like a dreamer book, you know. A lot of times you don't always get to go to these places, but if you did in your mind, what is your most favorite locations to go to? What would you like to see? What would you like to do there? I did a little stamp of handle with care. Another little piece of washi. And it was like a little rose on this piece of washi up there. And then that one, I think it's like a little piece of paper, like a letter. Love this lady. I love it. that was the very first thing I printed off. And I think I was running out of ink, so it became more yellow. But that's okay. I like it. It's nice and aged. Now this is China, because there's the Great Wall. And then you got here, this may be Japan, because isn't that Mount Fuji? And I put little pieces of the sellotape, like they glued down or taped down their pictures there. And it also went really well with this color over here. Here we have this balloon. And I think that's the Grand Canyon. But I didn't know that until later. And then I glued it down there. Here's another pretty lady. I think this is some kind of a train station somewhere. Some of these pages just had to do with traveling in general. Now here we have something with Egypt. And at first I thought that was Greece, but that's actually hieroglyphics on those columns. I know that from my love of anything Egyptian. And then we have the pyramid here, and I just did a little stamp, received. Don't know why. And then we have, I can't remember where that's at, but the palm trees gave it away. And then we have something here, and I'm not sure what that is, but it's got a pyramid behind it. I know they're not side by side in real life. This was her laying down of different layers for her digital. This lady reminds me of Annie Oakley. Don't know why. And then we have this page. And there was two big maps. You'll see one later on down the road that I decided to cut in half. It was too big to put any way but sideways, and I didn't want to do that. So I cut it in half and glued it in here. I have the Statue of Liberty, gosh, Empire State Building. Didn't come to me for a minute. Then over here we have, you know, San Francisco and the bridge. And, I mean, it's got almost any place in the world you could think of, the major places everybody goes. Of course, we have England and Big Ben. And this train looked like this train. But later on, I thought, well, that might be you know, San Francisco cable car, because I think I see US right there. So another one I messed up. But yeah, I went through all of the ephemera. I printed it all out. There was some doubles. I don't know if some of them were in the, you know, the Polaroid style square shape, and then some were longer. Like here we have, there's Big Ben, but I'm not sure what that one is. I think that's the same thing. Then we have whatever that is with the prison, I think. And then there's another Big Ben. They have a lot of different scenes. Now, they have the cool looking double cars here, double bus. And I think when we were going to Williamsburg at one time, we had a choice of going to do two different places. And they were going to let us ride these, you know, two, you know, double-decker buses. And it fell through. Now, the teacher did say, don't hold this to a fact that that's going to happen, to being able to choose where you want to go, because it might fall through. And it did. So we were so mad. All right, so this one's like a blend again. You got trains, Italy, and Paris, and maybe US. And so there's the Arch de Triomphe. And I think there's something in here, another Eiffel Tower, and I can't remember if that's some kind of a castle or what that one is. Help me out, everybody. If y'all know some of these places that's in here, please tell me. Because I'm totally out of it. Now, there was a little bit of stuff in the ephemera like that, so I'll put that here in a stamp from my mail correspondence stamp set. And here's one of my nail papers that I did out on the deck. Now I put a little piece here. These I actually glued down. This is my paper. So it was a fountain, which is over here. And then it's got, I think, something from Greece there. So I don't know that. That's a blend. I don't think that's the same country. And then, so I put, I think that's Notre Dame. So that's Paris. And that's what I thought that was. And then we have this with the suitcase, passport, and the world. I thought that was a nice combination. You got the Colosseum. I just love how she's layered these things. She's so good at this. Oh my gosh, so good. Then you have this little area, the Eiffel Tower, and I put like a ticket in there. This is a really old picture of it. See those people walking under it? They all look like they're from, you know, the 1900s or something. And I did have airmail, via airmail, because it's so far up in the air. You know, I've got to have a reason for putting something on there. Here is that other map. Remember I was telling you it was too big? Look how big that is. And see, the only way you could really do it, and actually you can't even do it that way, it's too wide. So I just folded it in half and put it on here like somebody could write inside of it. And I tucked it in here, which I think that's another England, because you got Big Ben. I put a piece of my cello tape down there. And look at this compass. Isn't that cool? And I don't know if that's Washington. I think that's Washington, D.C. So you got a little bit of America and Paris. And another of whatever that, the Tower of London. I think that's what they call that. I did a little piece of washi up here with a violin on it. Just to use it up, you know. And here is another double-decker bus. And this must be Britain. Or this one I don't know. It's just like, it's vague. And I can't read those words. So I've put Stonehenge here. And I said enclosure. It's an enclosure. Okay. Enough of that. I'm still going. Look, I'm only 2/3 of the way through. Now, here's more San Francisco. That's why I said I think I've got that in the wrong spot. But this may be a Mod Podge page. Of course, I love King Tut. We have the Sphinx and the pyramids behind. Here's another one with Big Ben. And you can see all the buses, double-decker buses down in there. And I think this is the White Cliffs of Dover. I wasn't quite sure where to put them, so I just stuck them here. Because it didn't have much for, you know, Egyptian. Now here is Easter Island. And I don't know why I put an identification check. I guess because of that guy. And then I have a little bit of like a ship in a bottle there. That's that piece of washi. Then we have, oh, I think that's Louisiana. Riverboat cruise and more Egyptian stuff. Maybe that's over in Egypt. Who knows? Here was a little bit of flying. That was the only bit of flying that was in here. So I did my stamp up here about the airmail. And has plenty of writing. I mean, even though I have, you know, all this beauty on these pages of Tracy's, I wanted it to have some writing room. So you could put in here, oh, this is what I want to go and see. Or writing about what is on the list. Like here's another piece of cello. Had a little bit of thing with ships here. You could say, you know, what port you're leaving out of, what ship you'd like to get on. It might be plans for a future vacation you want to take. You could use it in that concept too. I love that. Now this is sort of like a belly band ticket. And that was already on there. But that's a pretty suitcase too. Another piece of washi. And I kind of did like a little stamp. A piece of ephemera. I made a pocket. I don't know what this is unless that's in England. And I don't know what this is. That almost looks like France. I look for the guys outside to be guarding it like it was over in England with the Queen and all. But I don't know. Help. I'm not even sure what that is. That looks like China. Here's more of that Greek-looking stuff with all the columns and places. So, and I made a pocket out of that. Is that? No, that's not that one. And then we're at the end. I got a big old ticket here under that train. And then the little matching kind of label it came from is over there. And there we go. And there's that pretty lady back here. And then all these things that go with her travels. And I'm trying to figure out what that is. It looks like a bunch of little stars. I almost thought it was ivy at first. And then you can see how this looks. I didn't do anything back here. In case something needed to be clipped here with a paper clip. Or glued. Or something of that sort. I did wonder about putting a belly band. But I didn't really want to put too much there. In case they wanted to put something there instead. And there's my eyelet. Oh, I did have 2 little dangles. They were what was left over from some other travel stuff, but it was just a watch and a little set of keys. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that and got some ideas. And like I said, treat a journal, a travel journal, not only as what you need to go somewhere with, but a planning journal. Something where you can put down where you want to go. Even if you just do preliminary little writing up in there, just to get it prepped, and then you have it ready. You have it ready to go, and you can plan your trip by it. And then all you got to do is keep winding that around, and then I put a little key on the end of it, right like that, little tiny one for the suitcase. All right, I really want to appreciate and thank everyone for coming by, all my subscribers and viewers. And everybody take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.